show and prove yourself that you are, which might take being detained and actually might actually take even going down to, being arrested to some kind of facility for a day or two.
Yep.
He was a lady that her car, her husband was basically kidnapped out of the, even though he was a citizen, they kidnapped him out of the gas station.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then
Basically, it is a
their car's
kidnapping.
left there, so now their car's going to
Yeah,
get
and left
towed.
car there. Yeah, that's
And
what I'm saying.
yep, and then now to go get that, like if that car doesn't get picked up by a family member right away, then it's going to get impounded, and the people that are there harassing don't have the money to go get a car out of impound after it's been sitting there for 2 weeks or a
What if
week
somebody steal it though?
or that
What if
if you're
somebody
the
steal
keys
it
are in
though?
it
You know
and
what I
you're
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean it's completely thoughtless. It's absolutely cruel and unusual. It's insane. By the way, we
Yeah,
are live on YouTube, so
yeah. Hey, what's up, man? It's Mahdi Ali, calling from Rush City, Minnesota Correctional Facility. Wrongfully convicted, been in prison for 16 years. And we on life, man. Like, if you want to ask any question, if you want to know anything about, anything related to me or my story or what we talking about, join us.
yeah. I'm gonna pull up the chat just to see. I don't know if I'll have anybody pop up, but either way, even if nobody pops on here, we will. Though at least this will be on my channel as like a video. We can start scheduling these more regularly, and I think if we schedule them in advance, it'll probably be easy to get people to show up. But um, yeah, so I've got one of your zines in front of me. I always have one of these in front of me. And like when I travel, I always have one of these out. And so I just want to shout out freemahdiali.com on the stream here so that people know about that. A lot of good information about Mahdi's wrongful conviction on there. We actually just put up, the clip from you on Care 11 is on that page now. I dropped that on the website, and we also have now a live narrated version of the zine for. I was thinking like there's people out there that might be vision impaired or something that want to know about you. So there's now they can hear the full zine story. Um, but yeah, so we were
Yeah, man. So,
kind of just talking about immigration and stuff too before I interrupted to say we're live.
but yeah, man. Yeah, I was just thinking about the other day. I'm like, hey, man, like how is like we hadn't even seen like one white person being detained. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. Like first it started off with the Mexicans, right? And it was the black. I mean, our Somali community. And I'll be talking to a lot of brothers that I'm locked up with that are deep. And, like a lot of them brothers are like families are a little bit kind of, out there, just worried as to like, is he coming after us after this? Are we next? Because you gotta understand this like the first few months. It hasn't even been a year since he been president, right?
Yep.
So, and also some things that he did since he been in office is like he took away a lot of programs that were beneficial to the black community, right?
Yep.
And and one of the things that the previous administration did is like it's a lot of programs, including HBCU and so many other black people programs that actually beneficial to the black community that were supported by the administration. So the little time he been in office, it's like he made a lot of changes, and all those changes it pertains to the black community, and a lot of the things that he doing, he hasn't fixed nothing yet, but all the things that he's harming and the shit that he's shutting all that stuff, man, like, yeah, it affects black people, man, whether they and minority people, and brown and minority people and stuff. Um, and it's like first it started with the Mexicans, right?
Yep.
And then now it's the Somali community, and then it's like, man, are the black people next?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is the black community next?
Yep. Yeah, it's anytime they set up these systems, like anytime you look at any time in history that people have set up these systems to do mass deportations, it's always a slippery slope down to the next group and then the next group and then the next group. And the
Yeah,
people that voted for, there's so many people you talk about this, like there's people in the Somali community that voted for this dude and now they're going to get deported. And it's just really sad that that's where we're at.
yeah, and it's just like you know that's why, man, people always have to like not vote with their pocket, but vote with their heart, right? Like when you voting with your pocket and you thinking about who best suits you as far as your business and things like that, right?
Yep.
And you're looking for tax cuts and things like that. Like you have to think about like okay, like what's the difference? You know what I mean? And my integrity, compromise my integrity along the process. But anytime you get in bed with man somebody that that had all the scrutiny that this president had previously, you know, getting into office, like, hey man, like I'm shocked that he won, and man, everything that's going on right now is expected,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
He would have did the same thing in the first term, but then the first term he knew that he gonna need it to get elected again, so he didn't do that.
Right.
But now it's clear like he doing that right now because there is no another term to look forward to.
Right.
He's not getting elected anymore, so that's not his concern. Now it's time to show and actually be himself, right? And I remember like a while back uh when he welcomed South Africa president,
Yep.
and that poor guy came to the White House thinking he was gonna get help, and and the guy actually very nice and very friendly, and and I know just a video in front of the media, and then the video was just like, man, I can still see that guy's surprised
Right.
expression, and the poor guy didn't even know like how to even react to that or like where to go with that. Like he was just shocked.
Right.
He was shocked, man. Like so, and one thing that he did in that story is so one thing about me, my background, like I have a family in South Africa. I have a sister in South Africa. Um, and man, like my sister's husband, who's the father of my nieces and nephew, was killed during a robbery in a store, right?
Wow.
So Africa is one of the state countries that I know, that a lot about. And one thing about that country, it's a violent ran country. The violent has no race. The violent is based off anybody has money falling victim to that, right?
Yeah.
So Donald Trump used that opportunity to take a shot at that president and then write the story as if that was the black people in that country that just don't want any white people
Yep.
in their land, as if that's their country, as if that's not their land. And he made it seem like it was as if basically the people, the blacks in South Africa were hunting white people.
Right. I mean, he literally, I think I don't know if he directly did, but I know I've heard people say there's a white genocide happening there, and that is absolutely not correct, but that's the term that they're throwing around.
What's correct is, man, they're hunting, and to a degree, yeah, it's probably right. So we're not gonna say like, they don't have no racist people that feel, some type of way about rich white men in South Africa.
Yeah.
Don't view them the same way that this country has, rich white men in this country that are successful, and some white people, they look at that man and they're like, man, how dare he, right?
Yep.
The same way that could be true in South Africa where they got rich black, rich white men, you know what I mean, and that's doing very wealthy. Very successful at whatever he's doing, and then you probably have, some black dudes and some black people that, South Africans that are looking at him as, how dare he? This not your land, right?
Yeah. I
So
mean,
that we're
sure.
not, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
But one thing that's going on in that country is, man, like if you rich, man, the crime rate in that country is out of pocket.
Yeah.
Like
It's like
just
it's
like
all
the
about
lady,
economic disparity, though, right? It's like
that's what it is.
when you have this much like people that are literally starving to death next to some of the most wealthy people on earth, it's
Yeah,
this stuff's gonna happen.
yeah. And that's what it is, man. The gap between the haves and have-nots
Yep, and
is
that's
so wide.
yep, and it's
It's
wide
so
here too.
wide.
But
Yeah.
it's not. Thankfully, we're not there yet to where it's like,
When there is no jobs, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yep,
not to the degree where at least you have in America, right?
right,
So when you have a country where you have people in traditional jobs, and poor people are seeing people that have money, and the government is not, very secure in a. I mean, the government is not very, quick on their feet as far as the police and how they react to crimes and
Yep.
incarceration and like hauling, arresting, you know, crime, violent people and the criminals. So like that's a situation where like any poor people that see opportunity where he feel like he can get something out of somebody that's rich, that he's taking that shot. But the reality is like people are losing their life, and that has nothing to do with white or black. That's strictly has something to do with haves and have-nots.
Yep.
So when he called that guy to the White House, and then that was the take, he was just like, wow. And that whole narrative, it was about bringing white people to this country from South Africa.
Totally.
That's really what the whole thing was really all about.
Yep.
So the man that's fighting for immigrants to come here in the same token and even the other day, like when he had that little midterm, whatever he was, I forgot the name of it. Like, man, where is why do we get people from the worst place in the world? But
Yeah.
where's Denmark? So we didn't know. Send us y'all good people.
Right. It's like,
So
the funny thing about that too is like I have friends that live in those countries and they don't move here because their quality of life is much higher there than it is here. Like they have better health care, they have better, like their jobs pay better, they have much more time off work there. Why would you move here?
yeah, so it's just crazy, man. But this thing going off.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, as usual, we got cut off there. We just ran out of time, and it wouldn't let me extend because it's past. This is the latest you can book one of these. But anyway, there we go. That was our little chat about immigration and whatnot. Tune in. We're going to start doing this more regularly. Take care.